Hello everyone, welcome to Lucid Main's Current Affairs of Neo IAS. Today we will be covering a scheme related to MSME, the MSME Support and Outreach Program that has been launched by Government of India on the occasion of Diwali. MSME sector is crucial in Indian economy and it is a critical segment in, if you take our UPSC exam, it's a critical segment in GS3 and it has implications around in the other papers also. Let's try and understand the topic. Let's begin by looking at the definition of MSMEs. We know that MSME includes a diverse range of industries, right from small kirana retail trade shops near our neighborhood to the large hotels and restaurants or small metal products manufacturing or textile enterprises all come under the larger ambit of MSMEs. But what is the official definition of MSMEs? MSMEs are defined under the MSME Development Act of 2006. Until now, the definition had the following criteria. Industries up to 10 crore investment in plant and machinery in manufacturing sector and industries in service sector which invest up to 5 crore in service sector used to be recognized under MSME. This used to be the definition. And recently, government made a change from investment as the criteria to annual turnover as the criteria. Now, any enterprise which comes up to the limit of 250 crore in annual sales turnover is recognized as a MSME. There are further definitions of micro, small and all. Let's just stick to one definition. Enterprises which have annual sales turnover up to 250 crore is presently recognized as a MSME. The government has taken away the distinguish between manufacturing and service sector and now there's only one definition for MSME. And what are the different MSME industries, enterprises? As I said, it includes retail trade to larger textile sector which can come up to 250 crore. So out of this, 40% of industries, enterprises are MSMEs are coming under retail trade. So this is the general understanding background of MSME. Going further, let's understand what is the relevance of MSME, what are the critical features of MSME which makes it the focal area for the government. The first critical aspect that you must remember is the employment elasticity that MSME sector provides or the employment generation the MSME sector provides. We know that recently Center for Monitoring of Indian Economy has come about with the unemployment rate in India and it has said that India is presently having 6% of unemployment. Now in this scenario, employment generating sector is very important and that's why MSMEs are very important. What is employment elasticity and how MSME is related to elasticity? What is employment elasticity? It only refers to the percentage change in employment with percentage change in growth. For example, to understand if a sector in the economy is having 2% growth and it is creating 4% employment, at the same time another sector B is having 2% employment but it is creating 2% growth but it is creating 6% employment, then this sector is having more employment elasticity. So a growth in this sector will be beneficial for employment generation. So MSME is such a sector where employment elasticity is very high. And presently, if you look at India economy, 28% of employment is generated by the MSMEs. Going further, another critical feature of MSMEs in India is its contribution to the GDP. Almost 30%, that's almost 1/3 of GDP is contributed by the MSME sector in India. So it's very difficult to remember all the figures, but remember, it's very easy to remember 1/3. 1/3 of GDP is contributed by the MSME sector. It's a very important figure which is related to MSME. Going further, another critical feature is the inclusiveness that happens through MSMEs. What is the inclusiveness? Inclusiveness of MSME sector can be understood from two dimensions. The first dimension is MSME sector reduces rural distress. As we know, whenever there is a situation of agrarian crisis, The government always comes up with aspect that we must increase the non-farm livelihood of farmers. We should help them to migrate into different other diverse enterprises. MSMEs helps in reducing rural distress to help migrating farmers from non-farmers to non-farm livelihoods. So that is the first important factor of MSMEs. It reduces the distress migration to urban areas from rural areas. That is the first feature that you must remember about MSMEs. The second feature about MSME is the inclusion of women into enterprises. There are data which say that out of all women enterprises, almost out of all women enterprises, 98% of women enterprises are coming under MSMEs. So that is another unit. So if MSME sector is increasing, that will also lead to more women coming into enterprises. So it is another inclusive feature of MSME sector. Almost all women enterprises are MSMEs. Another critical feature of MSME is it lies largely in informal sector. 97% of MSMEs are in informal sector. Then another critical feature of MSME is its contribution to domestic manufacture. We know that India has set a target to increase the percentage of manufacturing in Indian GDP from 17% to 25%. That is the present target of Indian government, to increase contribution of manufacturing in GDP from 17% to 20%. This dream can only be achieved if MSMEs are functioning to its best. MSME sector can strengthen the domestic manufacturing by acting as ancillary units to large industries. Large industries require spare parts. Large industries require small capital products which the MSMEs can produce, and it can help strengthening the domestic manufacturing. If you take the success story of China and Southeast Asian countries, it's always said that the MSMEs in that countries have played a huge role. So domestic manufacturing improves only through a strong MSME sector. And recently there was an example also. The Mangalyaan, the mission of India, was successful because a lot of components of this mission was provided by local indigenous MSME tool rooms in India. And another critical feature of MSME with regard to India is they can provide a special competitive advantage. Now we know that international market is very competitive, but Indian products can achieve uniqueness through MSMEs. How it can achieve MSMEs? Through MSMEs. MSMEs use local resources in India. In India, the traditional skills of people are very strong, and MSMEs can channelize the traditional skills and make Indian products unique. So through using local resources and through using traditional skills, MSMEs can create a special competitive advantage for Indian products. For example, if you take Indian textile sector is unique, can be made unique through MSMEs. For example, we have sericulture, we have handloom, we add natural colors. All this makes Indian textile sector unique when it comes to the global value chain, and MSMEs can play a unique role in improving this advantage. So these 6 are the critical features. Whatever be the question related to MSME, you can use the 6 critical features and score good marks in a mains question. Now let's come close to our program in focus. One of the critical challenges that MSME face is credit crisis. The MSME credit, because MSMEs don't have enough collaterals when they go for applying for a formal loan. They don't have enough credit rating or they don't have enough records of proper payment of interest to a loan. Due to these reasons, they are not able to avail proper loans from banks. According to the figures, only 4% of MSME finance come through formal means, and 96% comes through the informal means. And due to this feature, MSMEs face critical credit crisis. Now, given that, where do this, if we say that 4% comes from through formal channel, let's break it down and understand who are these formal credit channels. MSMEs largely gets loan through 3 major channels. You can see the figure given here. There are public sector banks, there are private sector banks, and there are non-banking finance companies which provide loans to MSMEs. And out of it, the largest contribution is by PSBs, public sector banks itself, followed by private sector banks and NBFCs. Now what happened is, we already know there are a lot of challenges for MSMEs. The collateral, they don't have enough collateral, they don't have enough credit rating. On the top of it, the largest contributor of credit to NBFCs, that is public sector banks, they are also facing a challenge. What is the challenge? Out of the loans given to MSMEs, 15% is suffering from NPA. Due to that feature, what is happening? The public sector banks are reluctant to give loans to MSMEs because the bad loan issue is affecting the lending to MSMEs. Another critical problem is PSBs will normally prefer large corporates like big corporates like Tata or Birla than giving loans to MSMEs. Why? For example, they can give 1 crore loan to one big company. At that same place, they will have to give 10 lakh loan to 10 small MSMEs. So it's very easy for them to attain their annual targets of lending if they focus on corporate sector than focusing on MSMEs. For 10 different MSMEs, they will have to do a lot of paperwork, etc., which will delay the whole process. So public sector banks also facing a challenge. Another critical contributor of credit to MSMEs are NBFCs. And even NBFCs recently, NBFCs are also, non-banking finance companies are also facing liquidity challenge following the default of the ILFS company. Following that, there is a shortage, serious liquidity shortage for the credit that is coming from NBFCs. So, these two providers of credit are also getting challenged, which is creating a credit crisis in MSMEs. On the top of all these three factors, we have demonetization and the introduction of GST, which again affected the credit scenario of the MSMEs. So these are the critical challenges for MSMEs with regard to credit. Now, what is the solution? The government came up with a 12-point program to revive the credit scenario and the MSME scenario. And this has been announced recently, and the government is planning to implement these 12 different decisions in a span of 100 days in 100 districts around the country. Let's try and understand what are the 12 different decisions. The 12 decisions can be categorized into 4 different categories. 1. Measures to improve access to credit, measures to improve access to market, measures to improve ease of doing business, and measures to improve technological support. The first measure is to improve access to credit. The government has come up with a new portal known as PSB in loans in 59minutes.com. If any MSME log into this site, they can avail loan up to 1 crore rupees in just 1 hour. And for this, they don't have to keep any collateral. And they don't have to go to any bank. And they can choose, there are like a couple of banks like SIDBI, SBI, so they can choose the bank of their interest. So these 4 facilities are available if they go to the PSB loans in 59minutes.com portal. So loans up to 1 crore in just 1 hour and no need of collateral. They can choose bank of their interest and they don't have to keep going to visit bank branches again and again. These are the 4 measures taken with regard to improving the access to credit. Now, and on the top of it, they have, the government is also providing for all GST registered MSMEs, the government is providing 2% subvention in the interest. Presently, government has started a portal for all MSMEs who are registered in the GST portal to avail loans, and for those MSMEs, 2% interest subvention on these loans will also be provided. On the top of it, one more measure has been taken. All MSMEs which are exporters will be given 5% rebate for the tax they paid through this scheme. What is rebate? Because under rebate what happens? You make the payment and after the payment, along with the payback, they will get 5% rebate, return money. That's the difference between rebate and subvention. Subvention, what happens? You don't have to pay money, the whole interest will be reduced. Under rebate, what happens? You first make the payment and later it will be reduced. Going further, government has also made one more step to increase credit. That is, all companies with more than 500 crore turnover are supposed to register all trade receivables in a platform known as Trade Receivables E-Discounting System. Let's try and understand what is TREDS. Let's take a scenario. Normally what happens, let's take a car spare part shop which is producing spare parts for a big car company for an amount of 10 crore rupees, and it sells the product to a big car manufacturing company Now what happens? This car manufacturing company buys this 10 crore rupee worth spare part products, but this car manufacturing company says that we can't pay the money right now because we have to sell the cars and we will pay back you in 6 months. So what happens? There is a delay in the payment from the larger buyer to the smaller MSME. So, but you must remember that MSME will have to pay money to its employees, have to pay its interest, have to make lot of payments for the 10 crore worth of products it procured. So what happens? Normally MSMEs will have to go to some other third party like banks or NBFCs or any other source and find money to pay for the 10 crore rupees. Now suppose it approaches a bank and the bank says that, okay, for 10 crore rupees, you will have to pay 10% interest. So what happens? The bank will take that loan and you'll have to pay 10% of 10 crore, like they'll have to pay interest of 1 crore rupees. So they will lose 1 crore rupees for having the money right now. Else they will have to wait for 6 months, then the car manufacturer will give back the money to them. So that is the normal scenario. Now what happens in TREDS scenario is the car spare parts company sells a product to car manufacturer, but the car manufacturer now will upload the bill to a new platform called TREDS. Now seeing this bill, a bank, that's a financier, will come to know that the car manufacturer company will have to pay say 10 crore rupees to the car spare part MSME, and the bank, instead of the car manufacturer, the bank will make the payment to the car spare part producer. But the thing is, the bank will deduct some money which will be comparatively lesser than the normal market rate. So there we know that they charge normally what happens, banks charges 10% interest. In this scenario, banks will be charging lesser amount, say 5%, and will be providing loans to the MSMEs, not loans, will be making payments to the MSMEs at a comparatively lower interest rates. Due to this fact, what happens, the MSMEs will get money very fast. So due to this scenario, MSMEs can avail money quickly at a lesser loss of cost. This is the uniqueness of TRDs. Now the situation was, even though this scheme was introduced, it was not mandatory, and recently government made it mandatory that all big manufacturers must upload their trade receivables in the TREDS portal, and now MSMEs can avail money instantaneously after the sale of products. That has been one of the critical steps. Now another set of steps that has been taken is to improve access of market to the MSMEs. How to improve access to markets? The government has made that all PSUs must make 25% of all their purchases from MSMEs. Of all purchases, 25% must be procured from MSMEs. Another step taken was, out of the all 25% purchase, 3% must be from women enterprises. And another step taken was all PSUs must register under Government e-Marketplace. What is Government e-Marketplace? Government e-Marketplace is nothing but a national public procurement portal. For all government agencies, if they have to make procurement, they will have to channelize it through GEM, Government e-Marketing Place. Now, this has been made applicable for public sector enterprises also. Going further, another set of steps that have been taken was to improve ease of doing business. Some certain steps were taken by the government. First step was, all inspections to the MSMEs will only happen through random allocation of the industries. Now the inspector cannot go to a particular MSME of his choice. That choice of MSME will be decided by a random selection through computer. And if an inspector goes to a particular MSME, they will have to file report within 48 hours. Another step taken was to ease the environmental laws. Initially, for MSMEs to start their functioning, they will have to sign a compliance of air and water clearance in a separate forms. Now both these air and water clearance forms have been merged into one. Another step taken was, the forms related to labor laws have been simplified. And another step taken was, if there have been violations of Companies Act, now the MSMEs need not go to court, but the government has came up with minor violation procedures, where they can make small payment of the fines and they can come out of the act violation. So instead of going to court, they can go through a simpler procedure. So these have been the steps taken to improve the ease of doing business. Going further, government has also taken steps to improve technological support through hub and two room spokes. We know what is hub and spoke model. Like there will be a major industry and under it some smaller industries will be working. These industries will be disseminating newer technologies to MSMEs. So there will be a centralized hub with superior research and on design of MSMEs, and from there the technology will transfer to spokes which are present around the country, which will transfer to MSMEs. And another set of decision taken was the government will come up with pharma clusters around the country, for which 70% of investment will be by the central government. Now, despite all these steps, there are a lot of concerns that first, since all these loans will be provided by PSBs, there are like certain criticisms because NBFCs or MFIs are more closest to customers and they can provide more customized loans to MSMEs than PSBs. That is one critical criticism because they are more closest to customers, unlike bigger banks like SBI or other Canara Bank or bigger banks. These NBFCs and MFIs are more closer to customers and they can give customized loans to MSMEs. That could have been a more better channel for transmitting these loans. Now, another critical concern is we had a scheme known as Mudra scheme, which kind of added to the bad loans instead of providing credit to MSMEs. So there is a concern that are we repeating again that system of loan mela and adding to NPA. So that is one critical concern that has been coming. And another challenge is MSMEs are having its own lot of other problems. For example, Indian MSMEs are not able to provide quality products and are not yet able to join the global value chain. It is not able to provide a high standard product. So who will ensure the quality of the products? And most of the entrepreneurs in MSMEs are just first generation enterprises. So they don't have enough managerial competence to expand their industry. So what about that aspect? How about the skill addition in the market? How about integrating the MSMEs to global market? And these critical challenges remain. Just availing of credit won't solve all the problems. And another critical aspect has been, even after the GST regime, still government is very slow in releasing the input tax credit. So all these challenges remain. Just focusing on credit is not enough. So what is the way forward? So whenever you write a answer to a mains question, we must remember there is an introduction part, there is a problem part, there is an analysis part, and when you come towards a solution or way forward part, two things must come in it. One, what are the major steps taken by government? What are the major schemes? Two, what is the vision of the government? These two aspects must come in your answer. What are the schemes under it? The government has taken a couple of steps to improve the procurement. So government has not just focused on credit, government has already taken some other steps. For example, to improve procurement, there is a MSME Sambandh portal. To improve procurement, there is a cluster development program. To improve innovation, there is National Manufacturing Competence Program, Design Clinic Program. And for improving ease of doing business, government have come up with a 12 number Udyog Aadhar number. And for improving the payment of corporates to MSMEs, government had set up a council known as MSME Facilitation Council. To improve the functioning of this Facilitation Council, government has come up with a portal called as MSME Samadhan portal. And for improving credit itself, government has taken a lot of credit rating system and credit guarantee fund trust scheme for the MSMEs, etc. Some steps are also taken by the government. The government is not at all just focusing on credit. So what is the larger vision for the government? Whenever government is trying to implement these 12 programs, it must focus on the fact that credit assessment must happen along with provision of loan. And along with provision of loan, other aspects for the empowerment of MSMEs like access to land at competitive rates, increasing the better tax base, etc. must also happen simultaneously. And finally, when you end an answer related to MSMEs, use this term. All these actions of government will aid Make in India with zero defect and zero effect. So use this term when you end the answer related to MSME. That will fetch you more marks. And finally, whenever you study a topic in mains, always try to correlate with other aspects of the syllabus. For example, MSME, a question related to MSME will not come as such. It will be coming in related to, say, how MSME can improve the manufacturing in India, how it can aid a make in India, how it can aid employment generation in India, how it can aid quality. All this. So there will be one critical area plus one small feature will be added. This is the normal format of UPSC question. So whenever you study a topic, after that, see if you can apply it in relation to other parts of the syllabus. So that's for today. And today I would like to end with a sample question for you to practice. This is the question. MSME sector in India can aid in employment generation and innovation, but they are struggling fundamentally with the dual problems of credit access and value addition. Discuss. So you can attempt these questions and mention them in the comment section. So we'll be able to review your answers. Thank you.